So it all starts with 16 boneless, skin-on chicken thighs. You might have to go to your butcher's for it because we really want the skin on for this. The bone definitely out. We don't want that because it's going to be a kebab. We're going to carve into it. And beautiful free-range chicken for sure. And then look down here, guys. We want a specific quantity of beautiful spices. And this is what the Turkish are so clever at, layering those flavours.
First, you want to make a spicy paste that will give your chicken brilliant flavour. Heat a dry frying pan, then put in 10 or so cardamom pods. And about a teaspoon each of cumin seeds, coriander seeds and fennel seeds.
Just waking up the flavours, getting them toasty.
Add a pinch of salt and pepper and a level teaspoon each of allspice, cinnamon, cloves and sweet smoked paprika. Toast the spices for 2 minutes until they start to smoke.
The smells are incredible. And then into a pestle and mortar. If you do want to peel your cardamom seeds, once they're cracked, see those little black seeds? You can just push those out. There's something quite fantastic and exciting about spices. Some of the old recipes would try and have as many spices in there as possible to sort of show off and sort of bling up, basically. I want 4 bay leaves here, and then 8 cloves of garlic. Just finely slice it. This bashed up paste here is the basis of all the kind of enjoyment and flavour of this whole dish. This is where it all starts. So we want to bind that and we want to create a marinade. So we're going to use 4 heaped tablespoons of Greek yoghurt. Greek yoghurt's great because it's nice and thick and it clings to the meat. Also, yoghurt is a fantastic tenderizer. A little splash of oil, and then an interesting ingredient, peanut butter, and that will give an incredible kind of grunt to the flavour. I mean, just a real backbone of all those spices. And it works really well, and it tastes phenomenal. I'm going to go in with all of this marinade. This is time to get your hands in. A nice little massage up. And I'm really pushing the flavour into that meat.
To build your kebab, regular metal skewers will work just fine. But I want to make one massive shawarma, so I'm going to use a rotisserie.
Whether it's a little skewer or a big skewer, the principles are all the same. I'm going to start with a lemon. We're going to go onto here. We've got a spike at this end, straight through, and that is kind of like a bookend. It keeps it all nice and tight. The next thing I'm going to do is a little tomato. It will just melt and disintegrate over the cooking time.
Fold the chicken thighs as you stick them onto your spike. Just layer them up with chunks of onion and red pepper in between. And push it all down nice and tight.
For me, the whole purpose of doing this is because we know we like kebabs, but to take ownership back of knowing all the ingredients, the love, the care, the spices, you know, it's taking something street culture and making it artisanal again.
The chicken will need to marinate in the fridge for a good few hours, ideally overnight. If you've not got much space, do it before you skewer it up. Now I'm going to make the dough for the flatbreads to go with my chicken.
We want a nice flatbread with little lumps and bubbles all over, and that's going to be the perfect kind of edible plate for our lovely charred chicken and our tabbouleh and our amber and our hummus and all the pickles. It's going to be super, super good. So for this recipe, 1 kilo of flour is what you need, but I'm blending white flour with whole grain flour, and that's going to give it that lovely kind of richness of flavour.
Add 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds, a pinch of salt and a teaspoon of baking powder to the flour, and bring it all together with 550 ml of cold water.
Have a nice little knead up here. You want to get it elastic so that the bread has structure, and then when it hits the direct heat, it kind of stretches but holds that gas, that air.
Knead the dough for 2 or 3 minutes until really smooth, then cover it with a damp cloth.
Keep it nice and cosy. It'll stay there easily for 4 or 5 hours, happy as Larry. When it comes to cooking time, have it there next to you, cut a bit off, roll it out onto a cake rack, over the lovely cinders of coal, and you'll have the most incredible homemade flatbread.
Next, some hummus.
We buy a lot of hummus from the supermarket in the little tubs. It's very generic these days. Making your own is another level. It's incredible flavour. We're going to get a jar of nice chickpeas. Look at the size of those, fat, buttery ones. So pour that in with their juice. We want a pinch of cumin, 2 tablespoons of tahini. Tahini is basically a sesame seed paste. It's kind of like peanut butter. If you haven't got it, use peanut butter, no problem at all. Go in with a pinch of sea salt. We're then going to hit up a nice unwaxed lemon, cut that in half and squeeze that in. And then some lovely olive oil. Going to make it silky and shiny and gorgeous. And then a little garlic, just 1 clove will do. There you go, whiz it up. So it only takes a minute to make. You can add a little water if it's too thick, but you want it to be really shiny. And I want it to be loose, because I'm almost going to use it to butter those beautiful flatbreads. There you go. Silken hummus. You can just have some toasted cumin. You can just sprinkle on the top. Little olive oil on top. Job's a good one.
To create even more bursts of flavour on my flatbread, I'm also going to make a spicy amber sauce.
Now, if you haven't had it before, this is an incredible condiment. Think kind of mint sauce with roast lamb. It's a mango-based sauce that's fantastic with grilled meats, wonderful with eggs, really, really good, of course, with chicken shawarma. That's why we're doing it.
Add to a pan about half a teaspoon each of fenugreek, mustard seeds, sweet smoked paprika, cayenne pepper and turmeric. Then, in the same pan, gently fry some sliced garlic, keeping it separate initially. But when softened, combining it with the toasted spices.
So essentially what we've made there is kind of like a flavoured temper that you'd have in India. You know, we've got all those fragrances and all those spices doing nice things there. And I'm just going to turn that temperature off.
Peel and de-stone 2 ripe mangoes and give them a whiz with the juice of 2 limes. Then add the mango to the spices.
It's a condiment, so it's got to kind of cut through with the richness of the chicken and the fat, and it's just kind of got to do that beautiful thing like lemon on smoked salmon or apple sauce with roast pork. I'm going to put this in a nice dish now, and I'll put that in the fridge. And it's that refreshing part to go with the lovely, hot, gnarly carved meat. So there you go, the gorgeous and very unusual amber sauce. My way, that's going to be amazing with the chicken.
With my sauce, hummus and dough all done, I'm ready for the exciting bit. The grilling over an open fire of my great big chicken kebab.
Come on, look at that. That's been in the fridge, marinating a treat. Gorgeous. I want the rendered fat to start going on the coals, and you hear that pss, 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 and that turns into beautiful little spurts of smoke, and that's what's going to give it that colour and flavour as well.
My big shawarma will need to cook for about an hour. Small individual ones will be much quicker. So I'm going to make a zesty tabbouleh while I wait.
This is the thing I love about cooking outdoors. You can see it, you can smell it, and we can kind of bring the rest of the meal together as we do it. So, tabbouleh, a classic, really simple to make. Of course, it's based around herbs. So we've got a nice wodge here of parsley and mint. I've cooked some bulgur wheat here. You can get it in all the supermarkets. It's just cracked wheat. You just boil it, follow the packet instructions, a little bit of salt, and you're laughing. And then while it's been drained and still at room temperature, we can dress that with beautiful things. So rip the parsley off, finely slice these herbs. Beautiful. Essentially what I've created here is a kebab shop, my very own kebab shop. We've got some spring onions here. Just line them up. just a couple of tomatoes. Take the seeds out of the tomatoes. You don't have to do that, but it's quite nice. Use 2 or 3, depending on their size. Nice ripe ones really helps. All we have to do now, is add a little special ingredient. Get down the supermarket and find some beautiful preserved lemons. I'm just gonna quarter them and remove any pips. It's got an incredible fragrance. And for the whole time that you're eating it, you're going, what's that? It's got kind of like a fizzy sweetness about it, a perfume. Look at the gorgeous colours. Green, yellow, red. Yes, of course, you can do that in a food processor. It would take 10 seconds to do it, but that's not what today's all about. We're gonna push all of that here to the bulgur wheat. In with some great olive oil, cold pressed, extra virgin olive oil. I'm putting about 5 or 6 tablespoons to start off with. And then I'm gonna just splash in 1 or 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. A nice little pinch of salt. And then just mix this all around. It's gonna be so good. There is a beautiful homemade tabbouleh. Now just look at the meat, you can see it changing colour now, getting very exciting. So while that's going on, pickles.
To add some tang, I'm gonna make 3 quick pickles to scatter over the kebab. 1 with sliced up crunchy radishes, salt and a splash of red wine vinegar. 1 with sticks of sweet beetroot, salt, vinegar and a glug of olive oil. And 1 with sliced red onion, salt, coriander and lemon juice, so it's got a kick, but it isn't fiery hot. With all my extras done and the meat now perfectly cooked and golden, I just need to roll out my individual flatbreads.
We've got a lovely old dough. Get a little rolling pin and just push it out. We want it to be about 1 centimetre thick. Delicate, simple. So let's cook it. Look, 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 see? Whoa! There you go. Bubbles of joy. Okay, chaps, it's that time. Honestly, this is like a dream.
To serve, kiss the flatbread with hummus. Add a sprinkle of tabbouleh. Some dabs of amber sauce.
Let's get those gorgeous bits of charred meat.
And top with some of the pickles.
And that will be a kebab like you've never had before.
Then wrap it up and give in to pleasure.
Oh my Lord. Pickles, charred meat, all those layers of flavour, all wrapped up in that lovely flatbread. Fantastic. Why don't you give it a go? You'll love it. Homemade kebabs, woohoo! And this time it's a posh kebab because we're doing a mushroom shawarma, layer upon layer of beautiful mushrooms. We're gonna marinate them, we're gonna give them gorgeous spices, we're gonna get it charred and dark and gnarly, and we'll carve that over beautiful thin flatbreads. You will go mad. So come on, let's do it. Homemade mushroom shawarma. We're pushing the meat aside. We're bigging up this incredible vegetable. So let's start off with the marinades. We'll go into a pestle and mortar with 2 garlic cloves, pinch of salt. Crack this into a paste. It smells fantastic. Then, maybe an unusual ingredient that you've never seen before. These are preserved lemons. The smell and the flavour is almost like a hyper lemon squash. It's extraordinary. So get rid of all the little seeds. Chop these lemons. You'll use the skin and the inside and give that a little pound. For me, this is really, really important to bring out flavour. A heaped teaspoon of smoked paprika. Allspice goes in, cumin goes in. Bash them into the lemon and the garlic. Nick some of the liquor from the lemons. A little bit of olive oil. Look at the colour, guys. So this is the welcoming party for that lot. So, in we go. And you've got incredible flavour. Look at that. Ho, ho, ho. King oysters. they can go in. What I want to do is skewer these. So any mushrooms you can get your hands on, anything that can be skewered is what we're after. I've got about 800 grams here. With these lovely old portobellos, pinch the end and peel them. I will not waste that, okay? So both go in. Fresh bay, I'm going to take a humble onion into quarters and then into petals. So just give it a nice little toss-up, and that marinade gets in and between the mushrooms. So get yourself a nice old skewer, and I want to rack this kebab up tight and packed. So remember those gnarly little peelings? That's where a lot of the flavour is. One thing flavours another. One thing cooks into another. It's really good fun. So look at that. Dum-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum, mushroom shawarma. Come on. So that's going to go in a roasting hot oven. There you go. So the kebab's cooking. Let's make homemade flatbreads that's going to wrap up that beautiful thing. We're going to take the two cheapest things that you got, which is flour and water. 2 heaped builder's mugs of the strong flour. Just about fill this mug, so it's hot water. Here's the twist. By using the hot water, you're partially cooking the proteins of the bread. Season it with salt, and we'll mix it up. Use a spoon, and then when the dough's not sticky, we can start using our hands. Just move it around like that. So as soon as that dough has cleaned the bowl, we can put that down, give it a little knead, and just work it until it's nice and smooth. So what you can see is we've got a really nice elastic dough, and that's what you get from the hot water. Roll these into 8 little balls, and then what I want to do is just put a damp cloth over the top like that.
While the flatbreads rest, let's check in on those mushrooms.
Have a look at this. So that's had about 15 minutes, and it's beautiful. Come on. If you look in the tray, can you see how the juice from the mushroom creates this stock? So we can use this, giving it a really good basting. This goes back in the oven, and we'll give it about another 15 minutes, guys. Let's do the flatbread. Get a couple of bits of grease-proof paper, and I want to oil these up with some olive oil. Put the dough on that, just pat it out with our hand, and put that on top. Just bring it out like that. It's so kind of bendy and elastic. Peel this off. Now this pan is on a medium-low heat, so just let the heat cook the flatbread. That's all I want to do. Cook, no colour. So the nice thing about this is you could do this the day before or an hour before your friends or family get there. It's really, really easy.
No kebab is complete without the extras.
I'm going to make a little cheat salsa. So I'll take a regular jar of jalapenos, a little food processor, and then choose a nice green herb. I'm going to go for mint. Just be brutal. Take the bunch, rip off the stalks, go in with the leaves, pour in the jalapenos and all of the vinegar, and whiz it up. So for me, this little cheat is a great salsa, full of flavour, and that mint brings it to life. So that is the simplest, cheatiest little salsa going. People are going to love it.
Get yourself some tahini, cool yogurt, and pomegranate molasses.
This is going to be an amazing little story. The sweet, the heat, the kind of robust, the refreshing.
It continues with a simple quick pickle, half a diced cucumber, 10 sliced radishes, and 100 grams of quartered cherry tomatoes.
We want to dress that with salt and pepper, simple olive oil, and vinegar. And I want to be fairly generous. One more thing I want to show you. This is dukkha. You can get it in quite a lot of supermarkets now, and it's basically pounded up hazelnuts, spices, and it's classically had with flatbreads and olive oil. Really, really nice. Got a little pile of mint, and it's time now to go and get our kebab. Look at that. I know what you're thinking. Is it burnt? Is it ruined? No, 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 no. This is perfect. We can now take that incredible pomegranate molasses, a little kiss of olive oil. So that's gonna be amazing flavor. We'll get our flatbread and we'll go in at the higher temperature. That high heat has now made the steam inside explode. It puffs it up like a big pillow. You get twists and turns and crispy bits, chewy bits. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, let's build this kebab. We want to start with tahini. Really, really important. On we go. Savory and delicious. Be fairly generous. Then yogurt. Fresh and gorgeous. Time to carve our shawarma now. And as you carve into this and you look into the soul of the shawarma, you also then start to see the balance. We want burn, we want gnarly, but we also want that silky, soft inside. Just absolutely amazing. Okay, so what next? Let's hit it up with some whole mint. Do blobs of the salsa so you get hits of it and waves of it. And then the dukkha, This is texture, it's spice. So look, there's only one thing to do now, and that's roll this lovely thing up, and there is no elegant way to do it. That mushroom has like absorbed so much flavour. The salsa, bing, mint, wah, little bit of molasses, woohoo, and then those like little hits of spice from the ducker. Wow, and the jalapeno chili. There's a nice hum of heat there. That, my friends, is an absolute artisan version of a street food Friday night classic. Okay, so we're gonna do a really simple but delicious lamb kebab. It's a really lovely ritual to make a kebab. You can marinate it the day before, but I wanna show you the ones that I like to do, which is when you go for a walk in the park, or if you grow it yourself, get a rosemary skewer, right? And what you have here is a fantastic natural skewer. And what I want you to do is get a knife and at a slight angle, like that, and happy days. Okay, so let's start with the marinade, guys. This is gonna tenderize the meat. It's also gonna flavor it. Let's start with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. The juice of 1 lemon goes in. I like to season it with a little salt and pepper. Herbs like bay leaf is really, really nice. I just remove the little stalk like this, and then these leaves, you pound those up, they're gonna be amazing. I'm gonna put the rosemary in as well, because we've got the skewers. I wanna use a little bit of salt in there so it's nice and abrasive, and we're going to smash that up to pretty much a pulp. It's so nice. The smell is fantastic. You have to have a pestle and mortar because this is what flavour is all about, and it's literally the oldest kitchen gadget on the planet, and you don't have to plug it in. A couple of cloves of garlic, so just lightly crush those, and then that will start going a little bit more soggy. So that's what it's all about. That will absolutely make all the difference and transform this beautiful marinade. We'll mix this up. I'm gonna put in some amazing spring lamb, which is tender and delicious. They're cut into inch chunks. This is enough for sort of 4 to 6 nice sized kebabs. And at the same time, I wanna add some veggies. So I love, just having some nice red onions, cut them into quarters. And what will happen naturally, they just break off into little petals. You can have any coloured peppers that you want. The lamb's 1 inch, then I'll go about 1 inch on the peppers, and then it's going to sit beautifully on the skewer. Got my little chilli here, just going to remove the seeds, the hot part, and I'll just cut that into 2, so some lucky person will get that. The one thing I forgot as well, which is from the garden, which is really, really nice, is oregano. When it flowers, cut it, tighten a knot, hang it up near a radiator or a window, and you get this fantastic dried oregano. We're going to give this a nice little massage up. So once you've mixed that up, guys, I would love to marinate that overnight. Oh, it makes all the difference. I'm not going to do it today, right? And it still tastes delicious, but overnight makes all the difference. Please do it. So let's load up our wonderful little kebabs and mix it up. So meat, onion. I don't want to tightly pack it too much. I want the meat and the veggies to have access to equal heat and temperature. So let's just load these up. Just a lovely, simple kebab. Of course, you can make it with chicken, pork, beef, different veggies. Getting that on a plate is a beautiful thing. So look, I want something to put my kebab in, and I want to do this lovely little flatbread. For the dough recipe, click the I. So here's the very simple dough, and just cut it up into 4. So we got our kebabs, we got our lovely little flatbreads. So we have our regular barbecue here, and then I want to mix it up because I'm going to use just a regular metal bowl. Put that onto the barbecue. That'll get roasting hot very quickly. And then what I want to do is just roll this out. You can roll them out sort of like 1 centimetre thick. So because that metal bowl is quite thin, it doesn't take much time to heat up at all. And we're just going to lay that straight over like that. We're going to put our wonderful kebabs on. So they'll go straight on to the barbecue, and we'll really take care of those and love them. So look, let's have a little look at the bread. You don't want to kind of rush it, but it should just crack off. Look at that. It's like a little bowl of heaven. So you can see how quick that was to cook. I've just given it a little bit of heat on the other side. Use rosemary also, not just for skewers, but use it as a brush. And does it make a difference? It absolutely does make a difference. It really does. Look at that, guys. It's beautiful. And then, of course, you can put in some salads. And then I like the red cabbage. It just feels so vivid and exciting. Some mint leaves are just little fragrant little surprises. So the yogurt there, just laced with mint. So good. delicious. We wistfully remove the skewer, leaving you with the wonderful bowl of goodness that you can just roll up and squeeze, and then put in your mouth and enjoy. Absolutely delicious.